Hi there, this is Gerard Wellbrock, and you're tuned in to Tiger Talk. We're going to talk some women's basketball with head coach Tony Hobson and men's hoops with Mark Johnson. It's all coming up right after this on Tiger Talk.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communications services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you for the next 30 or so minutes as we talk some Tiger basketball with women's coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson. Great home weekend this past weekend to wrap up the home slate for the regular season. Both teams sweeping Lindenwood and Lincoln, and now get set for a big road trip as they head to Oklahoma to take on Northeastern State on Thursday night and Central Oklahoma on Saturday. A lot riding on the line for both teams, and we'll talk all about it as the program moves along. It's brought to you again tonight by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill just north of the interstate in Hayes. Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. We'll take our first break. Women's coach Tony Hobson will join us when we come back right here on Tiger Talk. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, just north of the interstate in Hayes. It's the best buffet in the USA, and kids eat free on Tuesdays from 4 until close at the Golden Corral. We're joined now by women's coach Tony Hobson. Two big wins at home this week, knocked off Lindenwood and Lincoln, and we kind of talked about it last week. Two teams that are near the bottom of the MIAA trying to get into the conference tournament, but yet still scary games, and with senior day and all the different distractions that go around that, you never know, and got to be pretty proud of your team. I thought they handled everything well, took care of business, played very solid basketball both days, and got two nice victories.
Well, I think as far as like back-to-back games, I think we probably played as consistently as we have all year for four halves. We didn't really have we might have had a partially bad quarter here or there, but we didn't go a whole half not playing well. And our kids really tended to business, and sometimes home games are a challenge just because they do have the additional, distractions, and they're going to class on game day, which when you're on the road they don't. So they have some of those worries also. So I thought our players, and especially our seniors with the additional duties, played very well.
Thursday night, Lindenwood, you hold them to 6 second quarter points. That's really where you kind of started to gain a little separation. They played tough. They hung around, but that second quarter, it seemed like to go along with that consistent play, the defense, and not even just this weekend, but the last few, starting to really stiffen up again like we saw earlier in the year. And it's going to be something you need here down the stretch.
Well, I think we are beginning to gel a little better or regain what we had, and part of it is our full court defense has been better the last couple games. Now, part of that is because we're using it more against these teams. There's some teams you don't want to tempt them to get in the full court because they can really make you pay on the other end. We thought we would be able to really pressure these guys, so that helped a little bit. But also, we held Lindenwood's, top scorer, one of the top scorers in the league, to 4 points, and Taylor Chandler did an excellent job on her, but she didn't guard her the whole game, but whoever was guarding her really just kept the ball from her, and it kind of took them out of their rhythm, and you noticed that the second quarter they just couldn't score.
Yeah, Gengenbacher only 5 field goal attempts. I don't know what's more impressive, the 4 points or just holding her to 5 shots, because she gets a lot of shots off. Then Saturday, senior day, very emotional senior day with the 4, and boy, you never know how you're going to play it. I think I told Dustin on the air it might be a slow start. He goes, or it might be a big one, and you guys came out and they handled it well. They channeled that energy to a positive and got off to a great start and just controlled it the rest of the day.
Well, I'm always worried about the start in the first part of the game because that's when we do the, walk out with your parents and the crowd, and it's very emotional for those kids. And you saw a lot of tears, and from parents and players. So I think it's just hard to turn around and then, be tough as nails on the court like you need to be. But I thought we got off to a good start, and the thing that was different about this year, seniors compared to some years, is that all 4 of our seniors are playing on a nightly basis, and they're in the regular rotation. So really, it's not a big factor as far as that goes, like it is sometimes when you want to give them a chance to either start or get to play. And so it was a really nice situation. The game went about as well as we could hope as far as that goes, where we could get our kids out of the game and get them all an ovation that they deserved. And what a nice crowd we had. We had close to right around 4,000 people to see these kids play their last home game this year. And it's something that they will always remember.
Well, a great start. Beth had a wide open layup, and then you steal the inbound and get another one, 4-0. I mean, I really kind of set the tone. If there were any jitters, they were gone after that.
Yeah, it was kind of fitting because first Beth, we just run a simple little drive play for Beth. She goes in for a layup. Then we get a steal, and Paige goes in for a layup. So you got your 2 4-year seniors, layup, and then you're off to the races, and everybody relaxes and plays. And they continued to play well through the game. Chelsea had a nice game. Jill had a very good game. Nikki probably played as solid and consistently as she's played all year. So you can just go right down the line. They played well.
It was fun for Ellie to get her first career start, got some minutes. I mean, it's like you said, she's been playing a lot, but a little bit different role to start, and that was a little fun to watch.
Well, it's something that she deserves because she's had such a good attitude all year about not starting when if you wanted to make a case for her starting, you certainly could. You can make a case for Nikki starting. I look at it as we start 5 people and we bring 2 starters off the bench, and that's one reason why we're having the year that we are having, is because we don't let egos get in the way of who's starting and who's doing this. They don't question any of that. They just, when they get their chance to play, they play well. And so you bring 2 real good ones off the bench along with a couple freshmen that are playing well, and that's why we, I think that's why we have the depth we have, and why we can make these runs that we're making.
One more thing on the weekend, but you wrap up a 15-0 home slate, second consecutive year you go undefeated during the regular season at home. This whole group has lost 2 regular season games on the home floor. A lot of factors, but you've made it very difficult for anybody to come into the Coliseum and win. And when you're going to start contend for conference championships, it starts there. You got to win your home games first, and this team has embraced that and done a great job.
Well, we've had some nail biters this year, and we had a couple close ones last year, but not like this year. I think we've had at least 3 games decided on the last possession or overtime, and a couple other real tight ones. So it seems like we just find the energy and dig a little deeper at home. And you're right, we have to win these home ones because you just never know what you're going to get on the road. First of all, you usually don't shoot it as well. The other team usually plays a little better. You're tired from traveling, so you just have to take advantage of that. And, just like Ellie Stein made the comment, she's never lost here in regular season. She's been here 2 years, and so I just told her, I said, well, that's the common denominator right there is you. And Chelsea's been here 3 years. She's lost once in the regular season, and then Paige and Beth have lost twice. So it's just been a pretty good 4-year run of home play. And any time that you can win that amount of games at home or that big a percentage, you're going to be in the mix somewhere, I think.
Well, the Tigers wrap up the regular season on the road. Couple of toughies, Northeastern State Thursday, then Central Oklahoma on Saturday. We'll talk all about it when we return. Tiger Talk, again brought to you by the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA, and we're back right after this.
They're growing up and getting busier. Between school, sports, dance, sleepovers, you want to make sure they can always reach you when they need to. Nextech Wireless has the perfect cell phone starter plan. For only $40 per month, it includes unlimited data, calling, and texting. There are no contracts or overages, so they can call, text, YouTube, and stream all they want. Plus, smartphones start at just $150. Certain restrictions apply. Get the $40 WOW unlimited plan at Nextech Wireless.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you again by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, and you can check out their catering service next time you have a big event planned, maybe something for the office or a family gathering coming up this spring or summer. Contact the Golden Corral at 625-4141 for catering. Fort Hays State wrapping up the regular season on the road at Northeastern State and Central Oklahoma. The annual Oklahoma Swing seems like it's been on the road the last 2 or 3 years, and boy, scary games in both regards. Northeastern has struggled this year, but they like to shoot the three, and you catch them on a night they're on fire. It's tough. It's been difficult, some very low-scoring, crazy games down at their place. So starting on Thursday, a big challenge for you guys away from home to wrap up this regular season.
Well, you never know what to expect down there. And, you know, with the implementation of the three-point line, it's just an equalizer. And you have some of these crazy results, I think, because of that. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see 40 minutes of zone down there. It wouldn't surprise me to see 40 minutes of man. I don't know what to expect. I do know that they are unpredictable, and they've had some very good games, and they've beat some people that it surprised me, and then they've lost some games that were weird too. So it's just one of those things where we need to worry about ourselves and get ready to play and make sure we don't stumble there before we get to what looks like should be a tougher game at Central Oklahoma, although Northeastern's beat them twice. So it makes no sense, and sometimes this game just doesn't. What we have to do is take care of our business, so in the event that Missouri Western does stumble and lose one of these last two, that we can still have a share of the conference title, and that's what we're after right now. It's very difficult to win back-to-back regular season titles in this league, and it would be quite an accomplishment.
Northeastern, a lot of motion on offense, hard to defend, but yet you seem to have, over the years, done a very good job against that. Hopefully that holds true on Thursday, but it can be a challenge, but for whatever reason, your team seems to be very well prepared for it.
Well, last year, I can't remember. I know down there we held them to 28 without Beth, and then in the conference tournament we got them again and held them to 40-something. So they do. They run an interesting offense with a lot of back cuts, they post their guards up all the time, and fortunately we have small guards, but you still have a hard time posting them up because they just get around in front and they're quick and make the passes very difficult. So I shouldn't say anything about us holding them down because it just jinx us, but we've had good success mainly because I think they're guard oriented. I think any time that we face a guard-oriented team, I think we have a good chance because we can play 6 of them that are pretty good.
And then you kind of touched on Saturday real quick, but you had to have a great comeback to beat them in Hays the first go around, and obviously they're a very good team. They're kind of forgotten in the MIAA in a sense because of it's so top heavy, but they're right there, and most of their losses have come to you and Emporia and Missouri Western. I mean, you take those out and they're right there.
Well, really the only 2 games they've lost that they shouldn't have probably are to Northeastern. Yeah. To one of the lower tier teams, and talent-wise, I don't know if there's anybody much more talented than them, and they can really put it together at any time. All 5 of their starters will shoot the three, which is a challenge for us, and we have to be careful of our rotation and who we have guarding who, because if we have T or Ellie on the floor, they have a hard time guarding against a three-point shooter. So it kind of messes with our rotation a little bit, so that's always a challenge. But right now in our league, it looks like there's a real scenario where we could have 5 teams end up 11-11, tied for 5th through 9th. It's just a log jam after you get past the top 4. So Central Oklahoma's in that bunch, and very dangerous. It'll be a game that'll be tough for us to win, but I think, since we have so much on the line, I think our kids will be ready, and we'll just give it a run.
Makes for a fun way to close out the regular season on the road down in Oklahoma. Coaches, always appreciate the time. We'll see you down in Tahlequah Thursday night.
Okay, thank you, Gerard.
That's head coach Tony Hobson of the Tiger women. Stay with us. We'll catch up with men's coach Mark Johnson. We'll do that right after the break. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA, and it continues right after this.
BOS Motorsports in Hayes introduces the top off-road vehicle lineup with Polaris. The world leader in off-road innovation presents the RZR, Ranger, Sportsman, and Ace off-road vehicles right here in the heartland of BOS Motorsports in Hayes. Whether you're looking for something for the trail, the farm, the oil patch, the hunt, BOS has the ride just for you. Stop in today and ride away with yours. At BOS, customer service is number one. Our in-house parts and service department will take care of you before, during, and after the sale. BOS Motorsports just north of I-70 at exit 159 in Hayes.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, joined now by head men's basketball coach Mark Johnson. The program brought to you again by the Golden Corral in Hayes, just north of the interstate, open 7 days a week. And kids eat free on Tuesdays from 4 until close at the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. A couple of big wins for the Tiger men at home this past weekend. Thursday night over Lindenwood, Saturday afternoon over Lincoln. They're in 4th place going into the final week of the regular season, trying to get that automatic trip to the quarterfinals in Kansas City, the MIAA tournament. And, Coach, it was a great week. You can, in some regards, say maybe your best week, certainly at home this year. 2 very difficult opponents, and your guys found ways to get a couple of wins.
Yeah, I thought our effort level, physicalness on the defensive end was as good as it's been all year, really in both games. Lindenwood's obviously the biggest team in the league, and a little bit of size disadvantage for us, and I thought we really did a great job of offsetting that and not letting that become a big factor in the game like it was at 3rd place, and really felt like we had to hold them in the 50s to low 60s to give ourselves a chance to win, and we're able to do that. And just an all-around really good game for our team, and then came back against Lincoln, against a talented Lincoln team, good backcourt, and got off to a sluggish start there. I think senior night got to us a little bit with the emotions, but responded well, and Craig had a great senior night there. He played really well, 22 points, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. Jake Stoppel had a good senior night. He had 18 points, and this whole weekend was a good team effort for us.
And I guess it was pretty good defense really all the way around, and completely contrasting styles. We mentioned the size of Lindenwood. They're maybe not as athletic and as skilled in some regards, but the height and the size makes it really difficult. And then a Lincoln team that never seems to stand still. I mean, you got to chase them around for 40 minutes, and to do the job that your team did, especially Saturday after settling down a little bit, said quite a bit. This team seems to be maybe turning a corner a little bit defensively.
Yeah, you hope so, and you need to coming down the stretch if we want to, this road trip coming up as you lead into postseason play. I mean, we got to play, the good defensive teams are going to be the teams that win, and you're right, Lindenwood was more of a slower-paced tempo game, really ran through one guy, Artenson, and if you could stop him, and then you had a chance to be successful as long as you kept the other guys off the offensive glass. Lincoln, different challenge, more players that were able to score, played at a quicker tempo, required more individuals to get involved on defensively, and thought really we did a good job. I thought maybe the last 10 minutes, a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of they just started putting their heads down and driving, and it's hard to keep them off the foul line. But overall, a good performance by our team this week.
You mentioned Arnson from Lindenwood on Thursday. Can't say enough about Kenny Enoch and the job he did. Held him scoreless for the first 26 minutes of the game, which is remarkable. I think he finished with 14, but, man, he did a great job.
He really did, and that's probably the one thing we've been missing this year is kind of that defensive stopper. Over the years, Ben Conjustas, guys like that, we've been able to put on the best perimeter player no matter what position, whether it was a point guard, a 2-guard, or a 3-man. We really haven't had that type of player, and it would be nice if Kenny can become that player the rest of the year, and we've talked about it, and I think he wants to try to take on that role. And really, overall, he had a good week. He did a great job on Artenson, and he still did a pretty good job on Jalen Smith. We felt like that was the key at 3rd place. He got loose. Verdue's a great player, but you can't let them both have good nights, and Kenny did a good job on Saturday for the most part of slowing him down also.
And you mentioned Craig Nicholson, great way to close out his home career. Hopefully you don't have to play at home again this year, but everything he's been through to finish at 22 points. You mentioned the 6 assists, 3 steals, no turnovers, hit some key baskets down the stretch. That was awesome to see.
Yeah, it's really good. He's been through a lot. He's battled through his injury, and really I think he's finally getting a little bit healthy. You know, he looks a lot better here the last 2 weeks of the season than he did even, like I said, 3 or 4 weeks ago. So that makes a big difference in our team. You look at how good a player he is. I think he's leading the MIAA in assists per game, and really hasn't been at full strength most of the year. Shows you what kind of talent he has, and really for all of our seniors, we need to finish strong, and I think Craig will be a big key if that's going to happen.
And Craig's shooting the ball a lot better here down the stretch as well. So the Tigers get 2 much-needed home wins, and now close out the regular season with a couple of toughies on the road at Northeastern State on Thursday, and then Central Oklahoma on Saturday. We'll talk all about it when we return to Tiger Talk right after this.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back. It's our final segment here on Tiger Talk, brought to you by the Golden Corral, where you can live the high life without any high prices with the premium weekends. That's right, the prime rib, the glazed salmon, and the jumbo shrimp, all for just $13.99. There's a reason they call the Golden Corral the best buffet in the USA. Tigers on the road for the final 2 games. Seems like every year you have to make this trip to close out the season. Switch this year, you go to Northeastern State Thursday and then Central Oklahoma to close out the regular season on Saturday. 2 very difficult places to play. Northeastern State, very deceiving. Their record isn't good, but man, they've been pretty good at home, and they really haven't been blown out by anybody. It's going to be a tough one to start this road trip Thursday night.
I mean, yeah, just really a replica of Missouri Western, though. They both have the same conference record, but you look at them at home, they're both 6-3 at home, so they're hard to beat at home. And really, Northeastern, they play hard. They lead the league in offensive rebounds. They lead the league in turnovers forced. Their issue at times, they don't shoot it that well. They're last in the league in three-point shooting, and they still make 7 per game, so they take quite a few of them. So you catch them on the night they're shooting the ball well, they're hard to beat, and they beat you a little bit like Missouri Western did to us. And so this is a dangerous team. And this trip last year, we needed to win some games to get a home game, and really felt like we should have won both. Lost in overtime to Central Oklahoma. I think we had a 16-point lead at Northeastern, and then they just started pressuring us and pressing, and we turned it over. And that's going to be a big key, is not turn it over on their home floor.
Well, you had a few turnovers. Now, on Saturday, I think half of your turnovers were on offensive fouls, so maybe it's a little misleading. But the first time you played Northeastern, turnovers were a factor in that, because the way they pressure, and something you're going to have to be much, much better at.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. Like I said, they very athletic. They play hard. They're competing at a high level. They chase, like I said, they chase the ball on the glass and try to get a lot of second chance points, and then they try to turn you over and lead to easy baskets. So we've really, the turnover has been a problem for us a lot of the year. I think we've gotten better a little bit as of late if you take away Saturday's game. But that's going to be another key. We can't afford to turn it over against their type of pressure.
In Central Oklahoma, maybe down a little bit from where they have been in years past, but still very good. It's going to be their senior day, and they're going to come out very motivated and ready to play. And it seems like it's always a challenging game every time you hook it up with the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of returning players from the last few years that have been successful. I think really what's happened to them is their schedule got them. They played 9 of their first 11 on the road, and sometimes that just beats you down. It's hard to make a big run when it finally flips for you. But I think, they just put it on Washburn pretty good at Washburn. This is a big week for them. They're still playing for a home game opportunity. So any game in the MIAA is a challenge to win. This coming week will probably be harder than the week we just faced, because we had 2 home games, and we know how hard we had to play to be successful. So another challenging week, and a lot still on the line for us. Obviously, we'd love to be in that top 4 and go to Kansas City. And then we're still right there in the regional, running for a regional, but you got to win games if you want to keep having those things on your plate.
Oh, pretty exciting to come down to the final week and all that on the table yet, still ahead of the Tigers. Hopefully can get it done. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time, and we'll see you Thursday down in Tahlequah.
All right, thank you, Gerard.
That's Mark Johnson, coach of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, it is a Thursday night game in Tahlequah against Northeastern State, Saturday afternoon in Edmond against Central Oklahoma. Hey, if you missed any portion of the program, you can always catch it online at HaysPost.com or the video replay Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10:30 and 7 o'clock on Eagle Cable Channel 14 and 614. That's going to wrap up the program. It's brought to you again by the Hayes Meadow Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams, Brown, Barron and Ball, and also by Couture for men and women. And, of course, wouldn't be possible without the great folks at the Golden Corral, just north of the interstate in Hayes. Open 7 days a week. Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. For Coach Tony Hobson and Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.
At Eagle Communications, we deliver what matters to your business. Our services are fast, reliable, secure, and competitively priced, giving you more value for your hard-earned business dollar. With Eagle Communications, you're not just another number, you're part of our business family. And we deliver peace of mind with local technicians who provide dedicated system monitoring and support. Connect to something better. Call Eagle Communications, and let's talk about what matters to your business.
Thanks for watching Tiger Talk. If you missed any portion of it, you can always catch the audio replay from Tiger Radio Mix 103 or the video replay at HaysPost.com. We'll see you next time right here on Tiger Talk.